What's going on, sartorialist? Welcome back to the Wholesystyle. Today we are going to be reviewing one of my favorite pickups from last year. I'm talking about my Western belt, which I purchased from a London-based company called Village Leathers. We're going to be discussing some of the motivations I had for purchasing a Western belt, some of the obstacles I faced in trying to find one that was right for me, and also we'll be discussing some of the things that I most enjoy about my Western belt, so you can make the most informed choice whether you want to purchase your own Western belt. With that being said, let's get into it. So for those of you who have been following me for about the last year or so, it will come as no surprise when I say that I've recently become obsessed with Hollywood topped trousers. So much so that I've had 2 pairs commissioned from one of my favorite MTO companies, Coloro. Unlike most trousers today, which either have belt loops that are on the top of the waistband or have side adjusters or some combination of belt loops and side adjusters, Hollywood top trousers are distinct in that the belt loops are dropped anywhere between 1/4 inch and typically 1.25 inches from the top of the waistband, giving it that old classic 1930s, 1940s Hollywood look. Further, Hollywood top trousers have belt loops that are not only lower on the waistband, but are also smaller than the belt loops on your average pair of trousers, which is to say that they are intended to be worn with a belt that is slim, anything typically about 1 inch and under. As I was looking on Instagram for how people were wearing Hollywood top trousers, I noticed that almost always they were worn with a Western belt. So I decided if I'm gonna have Hollywood top trousers, I gotta get myself a Western belt. So I hopped on the internet, started looking around, and the obstacle that I immediately encountered is that most of the menswear companies that were selling Western belts usually sold them from anywhere between $100 and $300, although I did see some that were even more than $300. And for me personally, for a belt, that was a bit out of my price range. So I hopped on Etsy hoping to find a starving artist who was willing to make a Western belt for a cheaper price, and thankfully I did, or at least kind of. I encountered a company called Village Leathers, which is a bespoke belt making company located in London. Now they offer a plethora of bespoke belt options, and you can mix and match different straps and buckles, but they have one model that is described as a Western belt. Village Leathers describes their Western belt as a woman's belt. But then, as well as now, the only thing that I could infer that is in any way feminine about the belt is the fact that it is slim. The strap is 1 inch. But for me, someone who has a couple pairs of Hollywood top trousers, this is exactly what I was looking for. Further, what made me really want to purchase this Western belt from Village Leathers was the fact that it was plain. The hardware and the strap did not have any design whatsoever. The hardware, the buckle, the loop, and the endpoint just have a matte silver finish, and the belt itself is just smooth leather. For those of you who are familiar with Western belts, you'll know that this is a somewhat uncommon feature. Typically, Western belts, the hardware on them will have some sort of ornate finish, and usually the strap itself has a kind of flowery or paisley ornate design on it. Now, maybe at some point in my style development, I'll come to really enjoy and appreciate those features of Western belts, but for now, they're a bit too showy for me. I purchased their size small, which is for those who have a waist between 30 and 33 inches. My waist is 33 inches. And the total came out to, shipping included, $60.96, which in contrast to, once again, a lot of menswear companies, is quite affordable. The shipping was quite fast considering when and where it was coming from. So it was coming from London in the height of the pandemic, and it took about a week and a half for it to actually arrive at my doorstep. after making a purchase. After about 6 months of wear, I can confirm that the belt is properly sized. As I've mentioned multiple times, I usually wear the Western belt with my Hollywood top trousers, which have a very high rise. Typically, those trousers sit above my belly button, and I found that when I wear the Western belt, it's able to maintain that high rise very snugly so that it doesn't slouch down, provided I don't move around too much. But it's going to happen, of course. Everybody knows anytime you wear high-rise trousers, you move around too much, they just kind of slouch down. That's no fault of the belt. The belt does its best to keep that high rise. If you enjoyed the look of this Western belt, I highly recommend that you make a purchase from Village Leathers when you can. The last time I checked their website, they were sold out. But what you can do is sign up for their back in stock notification so that they'll send you an email when they get the Western belts in, and you can go and swiftly make a purchase. With that being said, that's all I have for you guys today, sartorialist. If you enjoyed this content, hit that like button, smash subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be informed when I drop more videos on the Hulsey style. Until next time, guys.